Alright guys, so here's the review of the Ironwatch Vintage Subdiver 6204. So you may recognise this, it may look a little bit similar. I've been trying it out for a while. Full disclosure, I was sent the watch for free, don't have to send it back, but you know the score. It's not going to change the way I do my reviews, going to keep it 100% honest all the time, no matter what. Even if that means they don't send me another watch. So, question is, what is it similar to? Do you recognise the name? Let's get down to it and find out. So, here's the box it comes in. You've got the Ironwatch branding on there. It's actually quite a nice box. Slightly cushioned on top, like a leatherette finish. So, open it up. Put that to one side for a second. So we've got the user manual. I'm not really interested in that. We have actually got the warranty card, which is actually dated, which is good. And then you've actually got a 2-year warranty on that. So that is nice. Pop that to one side. And then the only other things you've got in the box, other than the watch obviously, is the Ironwatch tag. The links I've removed. So I've only had to take 2 out. And then you've just got the branding on there again. But you're only interested in the watch, so let's get down to that. So here's the watch itself. And as I said in the intro, this is spookily similar to something else. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get a zoom in on the dial. So you've got the Ironwatch branding there at the top, just printed. You've got 200 metre, 660 feet automatic at the bottom. Again, also printed. In fact, the full dial is actually printed, nothing applied. But it is nicely done. And so are those hands. And they aren't actually Mercedes style hands. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's get a zoom out. And let's bring in the San Martin Retro Diver. So yeah, this is what I was talking about in the intro. Well, alluding to in the intro. So these are very similar. So I'm going to be doing basically a comparison in this video, talking about what's the same, what's different with this. So right off the bat, like I said, the handset is different. So the San Martin's got the Mercedes style hands, whereas the Ironwatch has got more of a simple kind of style. It doesn't have that Mercedes. It also has a different second hand as well. So on this one you've got the lollipop on the end of the second hand. On the San Martin you've got it about 3/4 of the length. And it's also a little bit bigger as well, the dot. But we'll put that down for a minute. And let's finish talking about this before we do a proper comparison. So we've got a nice dome crystal on that. We've also got some nice detailing on the crown. Got the logo on there. So that's the Ironwatch logo. And you can see we've got those really nice polished details on that bezel, on the coin edge. It's very nice. And we've also got chamfered details on the edge of the case. The rest of it is just brushed, but that does just break it up a bit. And it is nicely finished. And we've also got female end links, which is always good to see. When it comes to the bracelet, that's pretty much the same. So we've got polished, give that a quick wipe. Any problem with having polished end bits? It's a little bit of a fingerprint magnet. So as I was saying, we've got polished ends, brush centres, and then they are all individual pieces. We have actually got the double screws on this. So they are a little bit fiddly to do. You will have to have 2 screwdrivers, one either side, to be able to undo it. When it comes to the clasp, again, we've got that Ironwatch logo. Got plenty of micro adjust, and again, we've got that polished chamfer detail just carrying on. So that's fully along the watch and basically the bracelet. So it does flow quite nicely. When it comes to the case back, it's completely sterile. We've got solid end links and solid links as you'd expect. And we've also got a milled clasp as well. So we've got an NH35 in this. So you've got the usual. So unscrew that crown. Again, plenty of grip on that. Very nice. Pop it out. Ooh, pop it out. We've actually got a ghost date position, NH35. Pop it out again, and then we can change the time. Second hand stops, we've got a hack in, pop it back in, second hand re-engages. Got hand winding as well, all the good stuff, and then just screw it back down. So let's test now whether we've got Sapphire Crystal on this. Using the trusty diamond selector too. And yep, we have got Sapphire Crystal, which is always good. And as I said before, that is actually like a domed kind of top hat style crystal. Does look nice. So let's get on to the dimensions now. So I'm going to bring the San Martin back in for this, so we can actually do a comparison between the two. So the Ironwatch has got a thickness of 12.7. The San Martin has got a thickness of 12.8, so basically the same. Lug width, you've got 20mm on the Ironwatch. Then with the San Martin, you've got 20mm as well. Now where things start to differ is when we get to the diameter. So with the Ironwatch, on the website it actually says it's 38mm, but when I measure it, I get it to more like 39. The San Martin in comparison is coming in at 38. When it comes to lug with the Ironwatch, we've got female end links on both, so no protruding male end links because I've changed the links on the San Martin, because mine originally came with male ones. So end link to end link we've got 48. With the San Martin we've got 46.1. So that's a sizable difference. I don't normally do this measurement, but with the Ironwatch I've also measured the crown as well, just because it looked slightly bigger than the San Martin one. And that's coming in at 7.3mm, and then the San Martin, it's actually 6.8. So not much, but it is a little bit smaller. So there are actually a few interesting little size differences. Might not be much, but I know some people thought the San Martin version was a touch small if they've got a slightly larger wrist, so perhaps this would be more suited for guys with slightly larger wrists. But anyway, getting on to the rest of this, let's talk about the bezel action. So it's a ceramic bezel, and then we've got 120 click, absolutely rock solid, no back play. Nice action as well. And that is pretty much the same as the San Martin one, and it lines up perfectly too, so no issues there. But you're probably wondering now, what's the Loom like? So again, I'm going to do this as a quick side by side, see how this works out. So let's charge them both up and then see if there's any differences with the Loom. And there we go. So they're looking pretty similar. So they both got C3 Loom, as you can tell by the green hue on both of them. Obviously, with the San Martin, that's got the Mercedes hand, so that's the one on the right. So it's got a tiny bit more surface area to play with on the hour hand, as opposed to the Ironwatch. But so far, they're looking pretty similar. Both evenly applied, no patchiness, so that's good so far. But you can probably see now, with the Ironwatch, the hands are actually beginning to fade slightly. So from when I've been testing this, I've found that the hands don't seem to last quite as long as the indices. They fade a little bit quicker. So the level they're at now, they stay at that kind of level a decent amount of time, but it's just not as bright as the rest of the dial, which is a little bit disappointing, especially when you compare it to the San Martin, which you can see is pretty much consistent with the hands and the indices. So that's not great. Oh, quickly forgot to mention as well, if you don't like the Ironwatch branding, they do actually offer it in the sterile dial version too, if that's what you prefer. So I'm going to quickly show you now what both of these are like on wrist, then we're going to wrap this up. So I'll start with the San Martin, and then we'll do the Ironwatch. So here's the St. Martin. You can see that wears really nicely on my 7-inch wrist. I'll quickly show you a comparison now of what it's like to the Ironwatch. And here's what the Ironwatch looks like. So it does wear slightly larger on wrist, but not by a great deal. Still wears really nicely. Perhaps if you've got a bigger than 7-inch wrist, this might be a better option, because it is slightly larger with that lug to lug, and obviously slightly larger with the diameter as well. Because I know some people were a little bit put off by the other one, said it was a bit too small. So perhaps this is the one for you. When it comes to the bracelet, it's pretty much identical, obviously different logo, same clasp. It's pretty much the same watch, just slightly larger, and obviously with that different handset. But then, with that handset being different, unfortunately that has brought the slight issue of the Loom not being quite as good as the indices, or in comparison, the St. Martin. A little bit disappointing, not going to lie. But it's not terrible, it's still good Loom, just not as good as it could or should be really. But if you're interested in picking one of these up, I'll leave the link down in the description as always. If you still haven't seen the full review of the St. Martin, I'll leave a link to that on screen. But that's it for this one guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.